back. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Phillips, Chairman of the Subcommittee on Oversight, Investigation, and Regulations, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and to our witnesses today. I'm going to follow up on my friend and colleague, Mr. Mfume's questioning about the 1112 program. To Ms. Kennedy, you called the relief provided under Section 1112 under the CARES Act, quote, a lifeline to your borrowers. That is absolutely true, certainly for the small business owners in my district, and I presume in all of our districts. And that's why I'm concerned about the gap in funding to fulfill the December promise, the so-called December promise that was made to businesses in the Economic Aid Act of last year. In fact, a smoothie bar in my district called Drink Fit was approved for a 7A loan exactly 1 month after eligibility for the first round of debt relief after that ended, despite starting the process a full year earlier. Then the second round of additional months of relief under the Economic Aid Act added eligibility on both sides of his approval date, leaving his business in literally a no man's land due to how that bill was written. So, Ms. Kennedy, can you speak to the challenges that the businesses that you serve have had with the Section 1112 program running out, and what steps you would like to see we in Congress take to make good on the promise that we made to the employers?
Thank you so much, Congressman. And I think your last statement of make good on the promises. We, as your nonprofit community partners, we've reached out to those businesses and we let them know what was in the Economic Relief Aid Act. And to go back to them and let them know, I'm sorry, there's not enough funds, that was really tough. And one of our small businesses, who's a catering company, who has absolutely been slammed because he cannot open his business. He cannot run his business. He called and emphasized if there's anything that can be done to make sure that we can get those payments, we would really, really appreciate it. We're trying to pivot. We're trying to get our business back open, and we need this assistance. And we thought we had it, so we were planning based on having those funds available or that debt relief available. And now we need to figure out how we're going to make this payment. The need is great for those businesses, especially in hardest hit industries. And we hope that Congress can figure out how we can keep the promise that Congress made and intended for these businesses through the Section 1112 payments.
Thank you. You consider your message delivered. We have open ears, and I wholeheartedly agree. Ms. Simpson and Ms. Frazier, in your comments, you mentioned the changes made by the Biden administration to the loan amount calculation for business owners relying on PPP, including sole proprietors, independent contractors, and the self-employed. And as you mentioned, I'm hearing from constituents myself who say that the formula change has to be applied retroactively, or hundreds of thousands of business owners will be unable to access the potential of an increased loan. So a few questions. To what extent is money being left on the table? How much more support would companies be able to tap into if this issue were to be addressed? And is your recommendation that Congress take steps to correct the issue, or can that be done at the administrative level? Perhaps Ms. Simpson, if you might begin.
Thank you. We don't know exactly how much money will be left on the table, but we do know, based on some conversations we've had with CPAs who've looked at their client base of Schedule C filers, that their loan amounts could be as much as 50% more or doubled. So many small business owners operate on a shoestring, and their net income, the bottom line of their tax filing, could show a loss or barely any income at all. But if they're able to use this gross receipts calculation that is now available to new Schedule C borrowers, they would be able to access a substantial amount more, again, up to the cap that the SBA has approved.
And just relative to the question about Congress or at the administrative level to address it, do you have thoughts on that subject?
I'm no constitutional expert, but it's my understanding that SBA believes that it would require congressional action.
And Ms. Frazier?
Thank you. What I would like to do is look back through our applications and give you a more firm number and get back to you. But I do know that we have seen an increase And the number of applications over the past week since the schedule, that calculation changed. And I echo what Ms. Simpson said, that I believe it could be as much as 50%, 60% increase in loans for a good number of those businesses overall. So again, I think that to have that work, the feedback that we have received thus far is that maybe the systems are not adequately prepared to accommodate that increase. And so maybe there needs to be consideration to, I don't want to call it a third draw, but a draw increase type format.
All right. I see my time's expired. Thanks, Ms. Frazier, and I yield back.
The gentleman is back.